There was a time when the world lived in peace, protected by warriors, astride mighty dragons. Dragon riders will come again. You're the next rider. Magic comes from dragons. It flows through the riders who command them. Some spells can leave you unconscious. One false move, one reckless decision, and everything is lost. I do understand.
Be strong, Peregrine.
I'm the rider, and I say we go.
Gather my army.
Tell all our people that the battle we have prepared for has come to us. We'll have to do much better than that. We fight as one!
Today you are a hero.
Family, friends, food, and football. For the first time ever, the NFL presents not one, not two, but three NFL games on Thanksgiving Day. Here in Dallas, Cowboy fans are thankful the boys are back. And a win today over the Buccaneers will put the Cowboys in first place in the NFC East. Hello, everybody. I am Joe Buck, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you at home. You may not love all your family. You may find your way over to the kiddie table, but just lock on to football for the rest of the day, and you can get by. I know you can.
That's not on the prompter. You're not supposed to ad-lib.
I kind of ad-lib, but
All
happy
right.
Thanksgiving to my
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving.
Here on
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Happy
folks.
Thanksgiving to my family and Rhonda out there.
Yeah.
Huh?
I can't believe
Uncle Billy and Ada, Diane, Mom.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
All right, settle down.
Mom, Dad.
I like my family.
Let's set the table with a playoff picture. Why'd you look at me? The Colts are atop the AFC at 9-1, but the red-hot Ravens and Chargers are both in hot pursuit for the #1 seed. The Patriots lead the East by 2 games. In the wild card race, the Broncos, Chiefs, and Jaguars are fighting it out for 2 spots. The Bengals and Jets are still in it, and Terry's Steelers are not dead yet. They've won 2 straight. Over in the NFC, the Bears can clinch their division as early as this weekend. Unless the Bears absolutely collapse, the road to the Super Bowl will go through Chicago in the NFC. Then the NFC has a whole bunch of 6-4 clubs, including the Seahawks, Giants, and Panthers. In the wild card race, the Cowboys and Saints are in great shape at 6-4. The Eagles lost Donovan McNabb for the season, so they have to be considered underdogs to make the playoffs. And the surprising San Francisco 49ers are contenders. The Falcons, they're fading fast. By the way, the Cowboys win today. They take over the lead in the NFC East. And Jimmy, to you first. With Donovan going down with the Eagles, what do you see happening in the NFC East the rest of the way?
Well, Joe, with the injuries there in Washington and Philadelphia, I think they're pretty well out, playing spoilers the rest of the way. It's a 2-team race with the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys can take a big step with a win today, and then they have the big showdown 10 days from now at the Giants. The Cowboys have been fairly healthy all year long. You look at the Giants, they've got injuries, plus Eli Manning is struggling. For that reason, I give the Cowboys the edge.
Well, the NFC South looked to be arguably the toughest division in football at the beginning of the season. It's come down to a 2-team race, really, after New Orleans. With a hot start, they've plummeted back down a bit, but they have a 5-1 conference record. That could play big at the end of the season. The Carolina Panthers right now look like the football team we thought they were at the beginning of the year. D'Angelo Williams, a great pickup, got their run game on track. They have an offensive line problem. Jake Delhomme, I love him, but he scares me to death at times. Steve
You don't love him.
Keyshawn Johnson,
You
I
don't
do.
love him.
Rucker and Peppers, great at defensive end. They've missed Dan Morgan, but Davis has stepped in, and Peppers might be the defensive player of the year at this point.
And, you know, in the NFC West, you know anything about Lazarus, you guys?
Yeah.
How he came from the dead?
Rose from the dead.
San Francisco 49ers. Remember what I told you early in the year? They would struggle early, but then they would come back to life.
I don't remember that.
49ers are 5-5, And I'm telling you right now, Seattle at 6-4, 49ers at 5-5 are the football team that scare me. I believe they'll make a run.
That's all great, but right now we focus on
really.
the Dallas Cowboys. It was
Wasn't
okay.
good at all.
The Cowboys are coming off that big win over previously unbeaten Indianapolis and Troy. First of all, happy Thanksgiving. I'm on my way up there shortly. And secondly, let's talk Dallas defense. I mean, this is a team defensively that's really rolling right now.
Yeah, well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you and the fellas there on the set. You're right, Joe. I mean, this defense has done a heck of a job all season long. I think when you look at Bill Parcells and his 4 years that he's been here with the Dallas Cowboys, the one thing he's done a terrific job of is developing this roster, not just on the defensive side of the ball, but also on the offensive side of the ball. And he's done that through the draft, much like Jimmy Johnson did back during our run during the mid-90s. I think you look around the league, the teams that are being successful, that's how they're going about doing it. And they've got some young talent on this team here in Dallas.
How can we talk to Troy Aikman, though, and not talk about Tony Romo? Have they finally found the guy here in Dallas to replace you?
You know, I think so. You know, you look at him, I think the biggest thing that he's had to overcome is the stigma of being an undrafted quarterback in this league. I think because of that, that's why it's taken 4 years for him to get on the field. However, it's also because of that has allowed him to develop at a much slower pace and be able to have the success that he's been able to have since he's gotten out onto the field. I think this guy's the real deal. He's a talented football player. He's here for a long time.
All right, Troy, I'll see you in a minute. Let's talk to you, Jimmy, about that Dallas defense. Back to that. What specifically did they do to slow down Peyton Manning last week?
Well, Troy talked about the talent on the defense, but aside from the talent, they were so prepared. I think of all the games that I've seen all year long, I was as impressed with their preparation for that game of any game that I've seen this year. You know, the Indianapolis Colts are so precise in their route running. You look at the defensive secondary for the Cowboys, they had pattern reads such that their safeties were sitting at the spot to where the receiver would run his route right to the safety, and so they read the patterns, and the Colts never adjusted. I think that'll carry over in today's game against Tampa.
Yeah, Cowboys are in the driver's seat. They got 4 of the next 6 games right here at Texas Stadium. I'm telling you, they're a lock. No, not a question about it. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, with 11 days, folks, they're going to play 3 games, starting with a rookie, an injured right cornerback, 5 starters in and out of this lineup. I mean, it's a tough call, especially for Tampa Bay's young team going against Howie, a 3-4 defensive lineman. Very hard.
We move on. We're live in Big D, and we have a big show. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones will join us next. This is a Fox NFL special.
Hi, I'm Carrie Underwood, and I'll be performing live at halftime. But here's what's next on this one and only Fox NFL special.
Each year, the Dallas Cowboys do what they can to give back. We hear about their efforts with the Salvation Army
to take on the Bucs here today. And we welcome you back to Dallas and this Fox NFL special. 2 young quarterbacks have been pretty special at times this season. Bucs rookie Bruce Gradkowski and the Cowboys' Tony Romo. Both are from small schools. Gradkowski is 6th rounder from Toledo. Romo wasn't even drafted out of Eastern Illinois. Terry, these 2 guys, for their experience, have been impressive.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. Actually, these kids are playing. Gradkowski especially is out playing Vince Young at Tennessee and Leinart out in Arizona. But one of the things you'll notice, both of these young men, they're really good footwork. Move around, they square their shoulders, they get their feet in position so they can make the good plays. Quick release. Once you see it, once you know where you're going with it, get the ball out of your hands. Both of these kids are athletic. Gradkowski moving out. 9 touchdown passes, many of them on the move. Gets him time, speed, 6'1", 222 to the outside. Courageous, lots of poise. You got to have poise, you got to have courage, and you got to have confidence. You got to be able to stand in there and know you're good, and then be able to take the heat on the sideline, and Gradkowski does that. Tony Romo, 4th-year guy out of Eastern Illinois, has really come on 4 and 3-1 as a starter. Same thing. He's confident. He has a quick release. He sees, very intelligent, reads coverages, and goes to the guy. Accurate, can throw the ball. He can loft it if he has a problem. He tries to throw the ball too much on a line, and therefore it gets a lot of passes knocked down. He's very elusive, gets out, finds people, open receivers, point, leads the way. And if there's any one thing I look for in any quarterback, no matter what his stage of his career he's in, it's poise. If you cannot be calm in the eye of a storm, you cannot play that position. That's an audible to Terrell Owens right there. Both of these kids are poised. Both of these kids are confident, and both of these young men are going to be around. And I'm not predicting. I think it's pretty certain they're both going to be big stars in the National Football League.
You know, you start to hear whispers. First of all, for Romo, he's got to deal with Parcells. He's got to deal with Terrell Owens. Some say he's too cocky. Do you buy into that, Jimmy?
Make no mistake about it. The starting point for any franchise is the quarterback. Tony Romo, hey, I love the banner back and forth between him and Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells in a press conference this week said, you guys are trying to put him in the Pro Bowl. Hey, you know, he's done the Pro Bowl yet. I see all the warts. You know, I think he has energized his franchise. He's energized his football team and Bill Parcells.
It's the most inexact science there is in football. High school, college, and pro football is the quarterback position, choosing one that's going to be successful. Tony Romo is that. I'm not sure if Gradkowski's that yet, but Tony Romo is.
Well, I'll tell you, for a guy that is rumored to be dating Jessica Simpson and won't even answer the question directly, I'd be cocky too. Still to come, we'll preview tonight's matchup between the Broncos and the Chiefs. But first, some great moments in Turkey Day history.
Dallas offense will be led by Princeton graduate Jason Garrett. Garrett back to throw it. Scoring. Harper. Harper's going to score. Garrett. Going deep for Irvin. Touchdown Dallas. Garrett's had a hot second half. Jason Garrett rose to the occasion. Randy Moss breaks a tackle, and Randy Moss races down the sideline, and Randy Moss just outruns everybody into the end zone. He is incredible. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 163 yards.
It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these, time again.
A little Thanksgiving Day Foo Fighters for you. 2 AFC West rivals, the Broncos and Chiefs. Tony Gonzalez will play. Larry Johnson leads the NFL in rushing. And considering what LaDainian Tomlinson did to Denver last week, LJ could spell trouble for the Broncos. Howie, they got their hands full again.
Yeah, they got their hands full again in this game where early in the season it looked like maybe a cakewalk for the Broncos. Is a must-win game and a tough game with LJ coming to town. Up until about 4 weeks ago, the Denver Broncos looked like not only the front runner in the AFC West, but also the front runner in the AFC along with Indianapolis. Indianapolis rolls into town. They struggle versus what was considered to be arguably the best defense in football, and then San Diego comes to town last week. They struggle on special teams. Quarterback play has been erratic. The running game's good, but it's not Denver-like, and I think there are questions in Denver right now. Not only are they one of the elite teams in the AFC, but will they win that AFC West? Now San Diego looks poised to be the premier team in the AFC.
Yeah, Trent Green jumping back with Kansas City. I think, you know, there was all kind of controversy talking bringing him back too soon, not bringing him back, you know, soon enough, on and on. He's the best quarterback, and he's going to get that offense rolling back with Larry Johnson.
Got to throw more than 16 passes, though, today.
Yeah, but he will.
Get him back in the offense, yeah.
For the second straight year, Frank Caliendo picked which week the Colts would suffer their first loss. And last week, Frank was 3-1 with his picks. Today, it's Thanksgiving, so that means it's Madden time.
Hey folks, John Madden here. And you know, every Thanksgiving I make a turducken where I put a chicken into a duck into a turkey, yada yada. I mean, you've heard it all before. But this year, since we're down in Dallas, I'm going Tex-Mex on your cabezas. I mean, I took the whole thing and put it right inside of a tortilla, right there. I mean, you put a little cheese on there, right there, a little cheese right there, cheese, a little more cheese. Put this, I mean, where do you get things like this? Anyway, and you know what that's called? A turducken dia. You know, I just made that up. You know what I'm thankful for, though? kids who pay $60 each year for what is essentially the same video game. Cha-ching. I'm kidding. I'm thankful for football. And this year, instead of 2 games, we get 3. What's that called? Boom! Trifecta! Yeah. Tonight, there's a game on the NFL Network. Let me tell you, if you thought tryptophan made you sleepy, try 4 quarters of Bryant Gumbel. All right, time to make some picks. I got to tell you, I like Dallas. This guy, Tony Romo, I have been a fan of his for years. What? Not the rib guy. Okay, all right, I'm going to go with the Cowboys anyways. I'll tell you right there. And then, tonight, I'm going with the Chiefs. All right, okay, here we go. Now back to 4 guys who should just be thankful they're not geeky, bald, dumb, and over the hill. Never mind.
Not feeling any love here.
What's this over the hill deal?
What is that?
Oh, he was right on it?
That's you.
Yeah, right on it.
That's not
I'm
fair.
too dumb to realize what he's saying.
Well, he said that. He said,
Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
Coming up is John Gruden on his way out in Tampa. I'm up to the booth. Kurt Menefee is next, and so is Rapid Fire. Both quarterbacks are getting ready for a big day of football.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mom. Love you guys. Miss you.
Right now, red-hot Dallas Cowboys. Welcome to the NFL on Fox, this Thanksgiving special, Tampa Bay and Dallas. And now welcome to our broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, along with my partner, Troy Aikman. It's something, Troy, you got used to as a player playing football on Thanksgiving here with the Dallas Cowboys, and now as your partner and working here at Fox, something I look forward to. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Joe. You're right. It's such a great tradition for these 2 teams. Players enjoy playing in this Thanksgiving game. I certainly always did. It's the first opportunity for Tampa Bay, however, and in talking with those players and coaches, they're looking forward to it as well.
Let's talk about Dallas and talk about the toast of the town, definitely. Maybe the toast of the NFC right now, and that's Tony Romo, the top-rated passer in the conference.
He's playing so well. I mean, you think back to last week's game against the Indianapolis Colts. He was a big part of that victory. He strung together 4 very good ball games. And in talking with Bill Parcells, he says the last 4 games is the best that this team has played all season long. It just so happens that's the same 4 games that Tony Romo has been the starter. He's been exceptional.
Yeah, 3-1 as a starter and taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that defense led by Monty Kiffin here on Thanksgiving. When we come back on the other side of the break, Kelly Clarkson will perform the Star-Spangled Banner here at Texas Stadium. They're getting ready. We're glad you're with us. Football for you today on Fox.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise for our national anthem. And performing our Star-Spangled Banner is 2-time Grammy winner and Texas native Kelly Clarkson.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Kelly Clarkson.
Suiting up to play at a National Thanksgiving Day stage is a moment from Pee Wee League on up through high school and through college at the University of Toledo. Growing up in Pittsburgh, he obviously had no shortage of quarterback role models, but today he gets to do it for real. At 3-7, obviously the Bucs aren't going anywhere, but that kid from Pennsylvania sure has arrived. He told me he spoke with his mom, Debbie, twice before the game. She was blubbering each time. She was in tears. Her kid is playing on such a big stage. Joe?
All right, thank you, Pam, and good luck, Debbie. Enjoying your Thanksgiving, watching son Bruce take on the Dallas team, and he'll have his hands full today.
Yeah, he will. And Bruce Gretkowski, he's not alone. I mean, in talking with both John Gruden and a number of players leading up to this ball game, they're all excited about the opportunity for this franchise to play their first game here on Thanksgiving Day.
Vanderjagt's all pumped up into the end zone for a rare touchback. And you see Romo in the background reacting to Vanderjagt walking off to the sideline. That is a rare touchback off the foot of Mike Vanderjagt. Well, there's no doubt, Troy, that the pressure will be on these two rookies on the right side of the offensive line to figure out this 3-4 defense of the Cowboys.
Yeah, and they're trying to do that in a short work week. You know, they basically had 1 day of preparation.
Quick snap count, and the handoff is to Cadillac. Picks up 2. This defense is a 3-4 defense, and Bruce Gretkowski has not taken on a 3-4 defense since preseason. And they are good, and they are fast and athletic with their front 7. And this linebacker group, Troy, is getting better every week, but they do miss Greg Ellis.
They do miss Greg Ellis, and when you're talking about a 3-4 scheme, it really is the linebackers that become the heart and soul of that type of system. That's the way it is here in Dallas as well.
2nd and 8. Toss to Cadillac Williams, trying to pick his way. Gets it to the 25, 5 yards shy of a first down. And Troy, you and you played your career here, but you and I have done a ton of games here at Texas Stadium. As you look at the numbers for Gretkowski, the rookie, there is an energy here in this stadium right now that they were talking about last week against the Colts, and it's carried over here on Thanksgiving. This town is pumped up about this team.
They are, yeah, and it all started when Tony Romo got into the lineup, but last week's win against a legitimate contender has gotten this town believing in the Cowboys once again.
3rd and 5. First throw, Gretkowski avoids the rush, will try and run for it and make it with a first down. They'll mark him out across the 30. It's a first down. There was heavy pressure by DeMarcus Ware. Tampa Bay may have gotten away with a hold out on the edge, but Gretkowski and his legs enough to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and the legs are the key, Joe. I mean, when you talk about a young quarterback, of course, Gretkowski, a rookie quarterback, 6th-round pick, you make up for a lot of the things that you lack in experience by having the ability to run and create plays. When you get confused and you don't see exactly what it is you're looking for down the field, a young quarterback will run much more than a veteran player.
Did you see those eyes of Gretkowski? They were wide as he watched Roy Williams bearing down on him from his safety spot. Here's Allstott, the spiritual center of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, picks up 3.
You know, this defensive front has really done a good job in stopping the run. And Jason Ferguson, we talked about the 3-4 defensive scheme. If you're going to run that scheme, you got to have a big guy in the middle, which Dallas has in Jason Ferguson. Bill Parcells was familiar with him there with the New York Jets, brought him here to Dallas, and he demands a double team, which is vital in keeping those guards off of the linebackers.
2nd down and 7, play action. The fake from Gretkowski, looking to air it out. Galloway is wide open inside the 30. Nice move, still going. Down inside the 15, and a penalty flag at the end of the play. I was just about to talk about the deep threat that Galloway presents, and going to ask the question about this offensive line. Here is Walt Anderson.
Illegal block in the back, number 80, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Galloway, Troy, is still that deep threat, and if Gretkowski gets time, that's where he's going to look downfield.
Yeah, and he almost didn't get time because DeMarcus Ware is working against Anthony Davis. He gets pressure, but again, Gronkowski has a great feel in the pocket, is able to slide and give himself some time. And then there's just a breakdown in coverage with Joey Galloway going through the middle. He still has great speed. You're going to see the block, the illegal block in the back by Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton, who, there it is right there, is a very physical blocker, both in the run game and after someone catches the ball.
That completion good for 53 yards before the 10-yard penalty, and Cadillac Williams picks up 3.
When you look at Dallas defensively, and I really don't think they have any real weaknesses on this team. They're solid up front. As you mentioned, Joe, they're very, very strong at the linebacker position. And I think their secondary is very good. In fact, Terrence Newman, some would argue that he may be the best corner in the National Football League. The problem that they have had throughout the year is they have given up big plays in the passing game. They avoided it last week against the Colts. That's why they were able to win. But already on the first possession, they've given up one.
On 2nd down and 7, Cadillac Williams carries it inside the 20. He'll be brought down at the 18-yard line, picked up 3, 3rd and short coming up. Ferguson in on the stop for Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, who was a carryover from the last regime here, and Bill Parcells didn't really know much about him. And Zimmer now is coaching the 3-4 for the first time in his professional life.
That's right. Yeah, he was a carryover, and a lot of people thought that he wouldn't be here long. You know, after Bill Parcells got here as the head coach, they knew eventually they would go to a 3-4 scheme, something that Mike Zimmer had never coached before. But he went, he studied film of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's learned it, and he's done a great job.
3rd down and 4. Quick setup and throw for Galloway. What a catch. And a 1st and goal as he went around Henry. And Galloway is brought down at the 5-yard line with a sensational grab.
Good throw and good grab. You're going to see Anthony Henry, 42. He never turns around and looks for the ball. So the ball's high, and Galloway's able to make the play. It's a good job by Gronkowski just recognizing the defense and how Anthony Henry was playing Galloway, knowing he would not be able to make a play on the ball.
1st and goal from the 5. Cadillac Williams carrying the pile to the 1. 2nd and goal. Brady James was the first one there for Dallas, the left inside linebacker on the stop.
You know, Cadillac Williams last week had probably his best game of the season running the football. They've not been able to run the ball as much as what John Gruden would like, primarily because they got a young rookie quarterback and teams want him to beat them. And so they're stacking the line with 8, 9 guys, and that's affected the production of Cadillac Williams.
2nd and goal. Allstott barrels into the end zone for the touchdown. How about a 10-play drive right out of the gate on Thanksgiving for John Gruden's team? A short work week, taking on a Dallas defense that slowed down Peyton Manning, and they go right down the field and cram it into the end zone.
Pretty impressive drive there. You come into the game, you think you may be overmatched personnel-wise. You take the opening kickoff, go right down the field, hand the ball off to your hammer, Mike Allstott, and let him run it in.
Allstott gets his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Who expected this? I know one person who was hoping for it. Debbie Gradkowski, Bruce's mom, watching at home on Thanksgiving. Chucky's all pumped up. 7-0 Tampa Bay. Welcome back to Texas Stadium, and a great start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have not spent a great night out on the road until you hang with those in the tape room and the audio booth.
And we get to do it every week.
Every week. Hi, Freddie. Freddie Aldis, our head audio mixer, Larry, and Ben Altop, who is our guy up in the booth, spending their Thanksgiving with us yet again. And with you. This is Miles Austin from a yard deep. Austin is across the 20 out to the 22.5. That's where the celebrated Tony Romo will set up. Allstott is already in for a touchdown on Thanksgiving. 7-0 Bucs. Tony Romo and the Dallas offense to the line, starting at their own 23. Four-man rush. Romo finds his tight end Witten. Out to the 31-yard line is Jason Witten, the two-time Pro Bowler, a gain of 8, and there he is. Every time I see highlights of this guy, I see his big old number 9 there, and I don't know if it works on this jersey, this style of jersey, but I think it's number 8. Is that okay, Troy?
Well, it's okay. I was hoping you'd say it. You think of me when you see him playing, and not just because you look at his number thinking he's wearing number 8. I mean, the guy has played, I think, better than what even Bill Parcells thought that he would, and I know Bill thought very highly of him when he inserted him in the lineup.
Second down and 2 here for Romo. A blitz from Rondé Barber. Romo throws on the run. T.O. with a first down. I'm anxious to ask Troy if he thinks that Tony Romo is too cocky, overconfident, something we talked about during our pregame show today. And there's Terrell Owens, man. I haven't even heard his name mentioned over the last 3 weeks.
I think it's the greatest thing that Tony Romo has done. I mean, in addition to the fact he's played at a high level, it seems that since he became the starter, we're no longer talking about things that have nothing to do with the game of football. We don't hear about the distractions of Terrell Owens. Everything that's discussed here over the last 4 weeks has had to do with football.
Handoff is to Jones, and Julius, a past galloping gobbler winner, picks up 5. Here's the defense, and Troy, you can say they are getting old, and I'm not saying you are. You can say that they are banged up, and they certainly are. But you know Monty Kiffin will have his squad ready to play, and if you're Dallas, you cannot take this 21st ranked defense lightly.
No, I don't think that you can, because Monty Kiffin, as you said, he's going to have these guys ready to play. They're banged up, they're undermanned, their key players are not playing in this game. But the young guys, they showed up last week and played well, and I think they'll play well here again today. They know it's a great opportunity for them.
Second down and 5. Romo steps up, going for Glenn, out of his reach, covered by Bolden. Jerron Bolden downfield, and Terry Glenn just out of his reach as the Cowboy offense opened it up for the first time.
Well, this offensive line for Dallas has been pretty solid, and whenever they do have breakdowns, because of Romo's mobility, he's able to move up in the pocket, as we just saw there. He's able to slide to the outside. Now he tries making a throw here. If he had had any chance of completing that ball, it's probably going to be intercepted by Jerron Bolden. Jerron Bolden, by the way, was a game-time decision. Has a high ankle injury, and so you got to keep an eye on that. Maybe they wanted to test that early.
Third down and 5 now. A blitz from the Buccaneers, and Romo's going to go down. Sacked on the play in the middle of it. Hovan gets out of the pileup, celebrating, getting to Tony Romo, and for Hovan, that's sack number 1 on the year, a loss of 8.
Well, he just goes right through Marco Rivera, the right guard, and he slides down. It was slide protection, and so he's taking Hovan one-on-one. Hovan had a little bit of an angle on him, but just pure strength drove him right back into the lap of Tony Romo.
Hovan plays that nose tackle position as McBriar punts it for the first time. Ike Hilliard from the 22. Out across the 30. Well, here's what's happened. The Buccaneers have scored on their first possession. They have stopped Tony Romo on his first possession. Bucs with the ball and a 7-point lead. Bay offensive line protect Gradkowski. So far so good, only 1 possession. And the other was, would the Bucs be able to get pressure without their main pass rusher, Simeon Rice, who they just put on IR with a shoulder injury. Hovan got a sack and a stop on 3rd down. Handoff is to Cadillac Williams as they fake the reverse, and Williams loses 3. DeMarcus Ware came in to make the play. How about that first drive for the Buccaneers, though? Impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you get into a game like this, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, and you got a team who is banged up, as we said, a number of injuries, a young quarterback, you got momentum on your side. You don't want to allow them to have anything good happen early, and yet Tampa Bay was able to create plays for themselves. You know, John Gruden, as we saw, very excited about that first drive.
Second down and 13. Gradkowski over the middle, completes it on a line. That's Clayton. And Clayton picked up 10. They'll be 3 yards shy of a first down.
I thought it was interesting, Joe, in talking with John Gruden about Bruce Gradkowski. And, you know, this offensive system that John Gruden has is very, very complicated. It's complicated for veteran quarterbacks. I can only imagine what it is like for a young quarterback. But he's picked it up very well. In fact, John Gruden said the guy's borderline stalker. He follows him everywhere he goes, just has a thirst for understanding this system and learning it. And that's why they've been able to do so much of the things that they're able to do, which generally with a rookie quarterback you can't.
Well, now he gets to stalk him over on the sideline as he calls timeout, and he will chat with John Gruden. Third down.
This is my husband, Jason Ferguson, and our son, Jason II.
And we would wish all the troops overseas without their families right now a happy Thanksgiving.
The happy Thanksgiving from the Ferguson family. There's big Jason Ferguson. 3rd and 3. Gradkowski's in trouble and just throws it away. DeMarcus Ware in his face. It's 4th down.
Yeah, this time they move to Marcus Ware. Rather than rushing from the right side of the defense, he switches, and now he's coming from the defensive left, working against the rookie Jeremy Trueblood. And then as soon as Gradkowski is a right-handed quarterback, that's the way you want to get flushed out of the pocket. Probably didn't realize DeMarcus Ware was playing that side, but ran right into him. They could have called Gradkowski for intentional grounding.
Forces a punt. Bidwell hits it. And Terrence Newman from inside the 15. Tripped up from behind, but a good return by Newman. 24-yard return from Newman, the longest of the season for one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL.
Vulnerable. You see his head snap. I mean, that's when a lot of concussions occur, is that whiplash effect and then the bounce off the turf. I mean, this is a different surface, but it doesn't mean that it's any softer.
On first down, Julius Jones tries the left side and runs into the arms of Dwayne White, who's really making a name for himself. And now that Simeon Rice is out and on IR with a shoulder injury, Julius and Dwayne White get into it. Jermaine Phillips in on the phone as well. A lot of people believe that Simeon Rice may be finished with the Bucs, and Dwayne White, big number 90, will take his spot.
Well, you're right. And Dwayne White, as you said, Joe, he's played very well. He'd always been more of a nickel inside pass rusher. But Simeon Rice, even prior to going on IR, he missed the last 2 ball games, had not been playing well. They will tell you that it was because his shoulder was bothering him all along, but his production was certainly down.
2nd and 8. Owens dropped it. Another drop from Terrell Owens. Not a perfect pass, but one that Terrell Owens had in his hands, and the fans booing.
Was a pretty good design there by the Dallas Cowboys. They run this fake wide receiver screen as though they're going to throw it there like Terrell Owens is going to block, and then he runs right by Jerron Bolden. That would have been a very, very tough catch for him to make. It was a little bit low. Terrell Owens certainly has made those types of catches in the past, but I think because he had such a step on Jerron Bolden, he was expecting it much further out, hoping Tony Romo would make him go get it.
3rd down and 8 now.
One of the few bad throws we've seen Tony throw in recent games.
4-man rush. Romo fires, and he really let it fly. Owens on the other side. Now they cheer him. 1st down.
Well, Dallas comes into this game 3rd in the National Football League on converting 3rd downs, and a lot of those 3rd downs that they have converted here over the last 4 weeks have been 3rd and long. But Tony Romo gets good protection, and more than that, he does a good job of going through his progressions. He's looking people off. He finds Terrell Owens sitting in the hole, and then it's just a matter of trying to get him to the ground. Rondé Barber could not. Fortunately for Tampa, the safety did.
An 18-yard completion on 3rd and 8. Julius Jones picks up 9, but a flag comes in from the secondary.
Holding, number 84, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Talked earlier about some saying that Romo may be too cocky or overconfident as we watch the penalty on Patrick Creighton, which negates a 9-yard run. Romo has to deal with Terrell Owens as one of his receivers, has to deal with Bill Parcells as his head coach, and he's no day at the beach on young quarterbacks. There has to be some of that for this guy to be successful. Romo's overconfidence.
Well, you know, I think he is a confident guy, Joe. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know that he's overconfident. I don't think he is even arrogant or cocky. I think he's got the right mix of being a very confident player. He prepares hard and he expects to do well, and it comes across in talking with him, but not to the point to where he rubs people the wrong way.
First down and 17 now for Dallas. Romo hangs in there, and now Glenn drops one. Second and 17, and we look at Mr. Romo's wild ride. He leads that 35-0 run to beat the Panthers in his debut as a starter. A 109.3 rating in a last play loss to the Skins. A 126.8 rating in a win against Arizona. And 10 of 11 in the second half against the Colts as they hand Indianapolis their first loss of the season. He's been almost perfect in the last 2 second halves of play. Second and 17. Romo buys some time and hits Creighton for a first down. 20-yard completion on second and 17.
Well, Tampa Bay, they mixed up pressure and they brought it to Tony Romo's left side. He slid to his right. And then because of coverage, you've got Patrick Creighton, a wide receiver, working against Derek Brooks inside. I think Derek Brooks is a heck of a player. He doesn't have the same step that he had in previous years because he's gotten up there a little bit in age. But that's not a match for a wide receiver.
25 catches on the year for Creighton as they start to work him more and more into the offense. Julius Jones is hit and dropped by Will Allen coming on a blitz. He came through untouched and then wrestled Julius Jones to the turf, a little slow getting up.
Yeah, Will Allen looked a little shook up there on the ground. Here he comes off limping. But he hit the hole just perfectly and was able to make the play. They've been so banged up across the board, primarily along that defensive line. But I said earlier that Jerron Bolden was a game-time decision. If Will Allen's out, then they've got to... And I can tell you that as an offensive coach, if you see that, and I'm sure that well, now he's still staying out there. You'd think that maybe they try to come after him here on this play.
Second and 13. Play action from Romo. Over the middle. Glenn. Touchdown.
Well, again, the offensive line doing a good job. They run this off of play action, trying to get the linebackers to bite up. Now they went after Will Allen, who had shown that that something was wrong with him on the previous play. He falls down, and an easy touchdown for Terry Glenn.
Phillips trying to deliver the hit to knock it out, and Terry Glenn gets his 5th of the year. Tony Romo throws his 9th touchdown of this season. And the Cowboys have tied it at 7. 7-yard catch on a 3rd and 7 while Romo and the Cowboys kept the ball away from Peyton Manning at the end of the game. And there's the drive. 7 plays. Romo gets his 9th touchdown pass. This is Michael Pittman on the return. Pittman with a good return out to the 40. Let's go back to that touchdown throw from Romo to Terry Glenn.
Yeah, here's Will Allen, the safety. We'd shown him that he was a little bit shook up on the previous play. He did not come out of the game. And then he just falls down right there. It didn't look like it had anything to do with the injury as much as him just falling down on the play, but the Cowboys went after him. And then at the end of that play, Terry Glenn takes a hit, and he too, much like Rutkowski, comes down and lands on the back of his head.
43rd touchdown catch in the career of Terry Glenn, who was with Parcells in New England. Another play action fake, and Gradkowski for Galloway. Stepping in front is Williams. Intercepted by Roy Williams. And out of bounds near midfield.
They're trying to get a big play down the field to Joey Galloway off of play action. They thought they may have had a step there on Roy Williams. I think Terrence Newman was coming in behind it, but just not enough arm strength. If Roy Williams doesn't make the play, maybe they had a chance, but an underthrown ball. And then at the end of that, Roy Williams, rather than going out of bounds, I mean, this guy's looking for contact all the time.
They gave him a couple of extra yards because of it, marked him out at the Tampa Bay 48. Williams gets his 7th takeaway of the season. Dallas, their 24th, third most in the NFL. Right back to work. Julius Jones, Jermaine Phillips met him in the hole, and Jones picks up 4.
You know, I know in talking with John Gruden, he said the #1 thing for a young quarterback is just learning to protect the football. And that's something that Bruce Gradkowski has really done a great job of, you know, over the course of his first 5 starts. The last 2 starts, however, he had 3 interceptions coming into this ball game, and then he throws another one up there. And that's one of the things that you just start to learn when you throw the ball late down the middle. Generally, there's going to be a lot of people down there ready to make a play.
2nd and 6. Extra man on the rush, and the pass is low, but caught by Terrell Owens. So good with a ball in his hands, makes a move and picks up 13. That'll do it for 1 quarter of play here at Texas Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving. Bucks scored first. Cowboys answered with Glenn. Now Dallas on the move in a tie game. Williams has set the Cowboys up in great field position. A completion to Terrell Owens, a 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 31. Over the middle, throws high for Owens, had him open, and the ball took off. You can see Romo, Troy, he had Marion Barber underneath if he wanted to take a smaller play, but he's hanging in there waiting for the big one, and he let that one go a little too much for Terrell Owens.
Yeah, he definitely is a guy who looks deep to short, as opposed to some quarterbacks who will look short first and then try to go deep with the ball. I mean, he is always looking, you know, for the big play. And they've been able to make a lot of them since he's become the starter.
2nd and 10. Blitz. This is Barber. Nice run. He's had a good year. Marion Barber is the backup to Julius Jones, but he scored 9 rushing touchdowns, which is the most for the Cowboys since Emmitt Smith had 9 back in 2000.
It's a nice luxury they have here in Dallas with both Julius Jones and Marion Barber. And, you know, Bill Parcells likes the idea of the 2-back system. He feels that if you look around the league at the teams that are successful running the football, that's what they have as well. And when you got a guy like Marion Barber, who when you put in has been as productive as he has been, then obviously you want to continue to try to get him on the field.
3rd down and 5, and a quick throw for Creighton. 1st down inside the 20, and Troy, I think you can officially add Patrick Creighton on the list of weapons for the Dallas Cowboys. He's getting more and more action.
He's getting more and more confidence. A really pretty easy throw from Tony Romo to Creighton, but watch the lack of a tackle here by Torrey Cox. I mean, no effort whatsoever. You know, the one thing that these Tampa Bay Buccaneers have always been able to pride themselves on is that they've always had good tackling corners. Brian Kelly, Rondé Barber, Torrey Cox, at least on that play, didn't fit the mold.
Barber made the most of it, picked up 3. Mark Colombo came out for that last play. Colombo is a guy at right tackle who was rehabilitated by this Cowboy organization. They fit him in. He's been the right tackle all year. He has just left the lineup with Fabini taking his spot. And Colombo has not allowed a sack in 9 games.
Yeah, in fact, he's probably been the biggest surprise for this team along the offensive line. Right tackle was a big concern coming into this season. He's probably been their most consistent performer.
2nd and 7. Play action. Good fake from Romo. Witten gets around Bolden and picks up a first down. And takes out a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. A gain of 10 by Jason Witten.
Well, Jason Witten, as the tight end, will line up in the fullback position at various times. Here he is here, and then he's going to go into the flat. They just run the naked to his way, and Jason Witten is a guy who they expect a lot from here in Dallas. Bill Parcells has high expectations for him. He's not been quite as productive as what he's been in previous years, but he is a real weapon for this team.
Now 1st and goal. Barber with that nose for the end zone is brought down by Hovan, who has a sack in this game. It was his first sack as a Tampa Bay Buck, as he's playing in his 2nd year with the Buccaneers. A gain of 2 by Barber.
Yeah, Hovan, he was a first-round pick there in Minnesota a few years back and was an all-pro player and had the sparring, with Brett Favre during some of those great games that those two teams shared. But I think at one point he lost focus on how he became such a great player. And when he signed with Tampa Bay, in fact, Rod Marinelli, who's now the head coach for Detroit, Hovan credits Rod Marinelli for kind of getting his career back on track, and now he's playing like we were accustomed to seeing him play early in Minnesota.
Throw. Dropped. Owens could not hang on, and I would say that's more frustration than injury as he lays on his back in the end zone. Maybe not. Now time is called, and they'll call the trainer out. Owens had it in his hands, went up to get it, and dropped it, and we'll take another look.
Well, this is one, Terrell Owens has had several drops this season. This is one that you just got to be able to make a play, but you can see he came down very awkwardly after dropping it.
It's a 7-7 game. We'll take a break. Off the field. Remember, he had that break in his right hand. He came down on the right hand, but appears to be okay. He's been thrown to 6 times. He has dropped 3, although the one down here on that longer throw, I don't think you could consider a drop, but 2 definitely, including that last one, which had 6 points written all over it. Now it's 3rd and goal. Quick throw. Terry Glenn dives. Touchdown, Dallas. Nifty little play from the Cowboys as they put it in the hands of Terry Glenn for the touchdown.
Yeah, they got Jason Witten on the outside. He's going to start blocking immediately. The guy who's trying to get up there and make a play on Terry Glenn. And Terry Glenn's just able to get it into the end zone just in time. Looked like he took a pretty good hit based by his reaction.
Vanderjagt knots it through. So any question as to whether Glenn broke the plane of that goal line, don't worry about it, as Vanderjagt puts it through, and Romo congratulating everyone, including Walt Anderson, the referee. Is he happy? It's 14-7. Tony Romo to me is like Warren Beatty in Heaven Can Wait. It's like he's been here before. Hand on his hip, just talking on the phone. Great play fakes, confident. And the results are there, 14-7. Dallas now leading. And Pittman takes it from inside the 5. Runs into Sam Hurd from the Cowboys, a return of 27 yards. We'll take a break, and Bruce Gradkowski and the Bucs will try to answer down by 7. That'll make you eat your turkey real fast. The white stripes and Tony Romo and his teammates, a 14-7 lead. Bruce Gradkowski back to work, starting at his own 29. Cadillac Williams picks up 5, and let's go down to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Yeah, Joe, a lot of concerned faces when Terrell Owens was slow to get up after that play. It turns out he just had the wind knocked out of him, and he's good to go. Back to you.
All right, Pam. Second down and 5 here for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, we're showing that some of the drops that Terrell Owens has had in this ball game. He's had others throughout the season, but that he brings so many physical attributes. That is one area of his game that he has struggled in.
Keeping air in his lungs?
Yeah, well, that too.
Oh, you're talking about the drops.
Yeah.
Here they are. And one I'm not putting on him, that one. That was so-so. But here's one over the middle, and then going up toward to get one in the end zone. That's where he, quote-unquote, got the wind knocked out of him.
You know, I think he's a guy who's really made himself into a great player. He has great speed, but the rest of it, as far as building his body up, making himself difficult to bring to the ground, he's done all of those things on his own, but he doesn't have great hands like some of the great receivers in this league do.
But just deadly, lethal with a ball in his hands in the open field. Gradkowski's in trouble. Looking for Allstott, and he hits him. Allstott is smacked, and with that spot, it looks like he's picked up enough for a first down. Brady James with a big hit, and Allstott comes up gimpy.
You know, DeMarcus Ware had such a big game last week against the Colts, and Tampa Bay knows that, so they're going to put 2 guys on him. Again, they got the rookie Jeremy Trueblood working against him, and then Allstott is there to help. Here's the hit at the end of the play. You know, Mike Allstott, he had the big neck surgery a couple of years ago. I talked to him before the game. He said it hasn't been a problem, but this guy's body has really taken a beating over the course of his career, even though he's been limited in use in recent years.
Darnell Williams, good run there as he got down and kept on going, picked up 5. You talk about Allstott. He's #1 in Tampa Bay franchise history with 70 career touchdowns. #1 also with 57 of those rushing touchdowns. #2 on the all-time Buccaneer list with just under 5,000 yards in his career, a 6-time Pro Bowler.
And he really, in a lot of ways, is the face of this organization. He's a fan favorite back there in Tampa and does a great job when he gets the opportunity.
2nd and 5. Cadillac Williams is going to be 1.5 yards shy of a first down. 3rd down coming up.
You know, Tampa Bay, they just keep pounding the ball as best they can. They don't want this to turn into a situation where they're expecting Gradkowski to drop back and throw it on each down. You know, Mike Allstott, who got used last week, his most productive day to date for this season. And then, of course, he had the touchdown here in the first quarter, and it looks like John Gruden wants to be able to use him a little bit more in this game today. You hope that he's okay.
Team high 42 carries last week against the Redskins for the Buccaneers. 3rd and 2. Toss to Williams. Cadillac with a first down, still going. Good run as he eventually got away from Roy Williams, a missed tackle. A 22-yard run, and DeMarcus Ware has to go all the way downfield to bring him down.
Now, sometimes Roy Williams, when he gets in the area of making contact, he wants to just absolutely lay people out. And sometimes in doing that, he's not able to wrap up. Look like Patrick Watkins also made a miss. There come Roy Williams flying across. But Cadillac Williams has great balance. He's a physical runner himself. He's not an easy guy to bring down either.
They stay on the ground with Pittman. Michael picks up 1 yard.
Now, this offense has really been up and down throughout the season, and I think sometimes it's easy to point to the fact that well, Bruce Gradkowski's been the quarterback, but even Chris Sims, the first 3 weeks of the season, he was not playing well either prior to his injury and then going on IR. But right now in this game, I think this offense has got to be feeling pretty good about the way that they're moving the football against the 6th-rated defense in the NFL.
2nd and 9. Gradkowski over the middle, may have been tipped. Aiken Adell was there for Dallas, and Pittman had a shot at it. It's 3rd and 9.
Well, they sure did. They had a chance right up the seam to Pittman. Couldn't tell whether or not Adell was able to get a hand on it or not, or if it was just a drop. Yep, he deflected it there at the last minute. hard then as a receiver to keep your concentration and still be able to make the play.
3rd down and 9. The Buccaneers are inside field goal range for Matt Bryant. Play clock winding down, and Gradkowski, the rookie, 6th-round pick out of Toledo, has to burn the Bucs' 2nd time out of the half. 3rd down and 9 when we come back.
Son Darius and Dania.
From our family to yours and the troops overseas. Happy Thanksgiving.
One of the classiest people ever to play in the NFL, the 9-time Pro Bowler Derek Brooks. 2000 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. Still doing it. 3rd down and 9. Gradkowski going for it. Galloway had to wait, and that cost the Bucs a touchdown. Henry got back to make the play, but Gradkowski had a wide open Galloway, couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, and you can't wait on Joey Galloway. I played with Joey Galloway as a teammate. He has unbelievable speed. He beats Henry immediately, so the ball's got to be in the air. Gradkowski doesn't see it until late, and by that time he could not get the ball out far enough to allow Galloway to make the play. A missed opportunity there for Tampa.
46-yard try by Bryant, who hit from 62. To beat the Eagles earlier in the season. Bryant continues from long distance, 46 yards to make it a 4-point game. Galloway got behind Henry. Henry had time to catch up. 14-10 Dallas, 2nd quarter. Waiting deep forward is Miles Austin. Anthony Henry made that play to save a touchdown. Knocked it away from the waiting arms of Joey Galloway. How's your right arm holding up over there, Troy?
Well, so far pretty good right now.
You'll see why I ask after the kick. Miles Austin returning it from just outside the end zone. Good return. Dragged down as he crossed the 35 out at the 37-yard line. And so, as a way to check on a penalty flag before we show our pretty booth, here we go. From our families to yours, happy Thanksgiving.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 50.
50, a personal foul, and that's going to drag the ball all the way into Tampa Bay territory. But go ahead, you introduce yours.
Yeah, I've got Alexa Marie here, squirmy one. She was a lot lighter a couple of years ago. And then Jordan Ashley, my 5-year-old.
And I've got Trudy, and I'm not too sure of her middle name, and that's Natalie. Natalie Elizabeth and Trudy Kathleen Buck here in Dallas, celebrating Thanksgiving with us.
You want to say happy Thanksgiving? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good work. The older ones in the back, it's not cool for the 10-year-old. From the 49-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a handoff is to Julius Jones. Colombo, by the way, back out on the field at right tackle, and here is that penalty called against Jamie Winborn on the tackle, dragged down, and there it is, that horse collar Roy Williams rule. That is what moved the ball into Buccaneer territory.
Yeah, and an easy call there for the official after they changed the way they're interpreting that rule, but a very tough penalty for Tampa Bay. They'd gone down, they cut the game to 14-10, and now this defense, boy, really needs to stiffen up before the half.
2nd and 7. Play action from Romo. They've done that a lot. Terrell Owens knocked away by Bolden. Good play. And Bolden, as Troy, you said, a game-time decision. Seems like he's running all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right, and they are able to get a little bit of pressure on Tony Romo, something they've not gotten a lot of. But those have an impact on a quarterback, even though he's able to get it out. And then, as you said, Joe, Jerron Bolden, a well-played ball there on his part. It looked like Romo had a shot to Owens early, but Jerron Bolden was able to get back and make a play, much like what Anthony Henry did on the ball to Galloway on the previous possession.
Cowboys are 4 out of 5 on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 7. Quick throw, tipped and still caught by Creighton. Stays on his feet but will not get a first down. Jerron Bolden is there to wrap up, bring him down a couple of yards shy of a first down, and the Cowboys with the ball outside the Tampa Bay 40. 2 yards shy of a first down will punt it, and that would be the right call in my mind.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, because Tampa Bay, they've got some confidence offensively. They've been able to move the ball a little bit, and I think that Parcells would very much like to go for it if their defense had been playing a little better than what they've shown here in this first half. You'd hate to give Tampa a short field and a chance to come away with easy points here with 5 minutes left in the half.
How is McGuire going to do? Downing it inside the 20. End over end punt. It's now vogue in the NFL, and Hilliard with a fair catch. We look ahead to Sunday. We'll all head to New England. The whole road show. This Sunday, a big one. The Golden Boy, Tom Brady. The kid, Rex Grossman. Bill Belichick, the master, against the monsters of the Midway. Great matchup, late game, 4 Eastern this Sunday on Fox.
You know, and what's interesting too is that with New England, they've lost, 3 games at home, something uncharacteristic of them. Of course, Chicago Bears were able to win the last 2 weeks, beat the Giants 2 weeks ago, the Jets last week. They at 9-1, there's nobody even close. 6-4 is the next best record of an NFC team.
That'll be this Sunday at 4 Eastern right here on Fox, America's most watched network for the NFL. Cadillac picks up 6, and we go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, the least Bruce Gradkowski could do is get the ball to a wide-open Joey Galloway, especially since Galloway helped the rookie with some wheels shortly after the 6th-rounder joined the team. Gradkowski was renting a car for a good little while there. Galloway said, "Man, that's crazy. Here, use one of mine." Galloway just smiled at him after he missed that opportunity earlier. John Gruden, he wasn't smiling so much, Joe.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He was just making faces, wasn't he? I mean, isn't that all he does?
That's his deal. 2nd down and 4, and Cadillac stays on his feet, and he is brought down with enough for a first down. Pam kind of rattled the cage of John Gruden there when we talked to him the other day. He talked to him about that article in the Tampa Tribune about him maybe wanting out of the Buccaneer organization, maybe ending up here in Dallas if Parcells walks away, or Pittsburgh if Bill Cowher walks away. And boy, John Gruden went off, and he said, "Well, I felt good. I felt like Chucky there for the first time in the last month."
Well, he says he's where he wants to be. He loves being in Tampa. Spent time there when he was young. He's won a world championship with this team, and it's where he wants to be.
On first down, Gradkowski finds Becht, his tight end. And Anthony is brought down by DeMarcus Ware, a gain of 4. Penalty flag is in the area of a hold, and it is a hold.
10-yard penalty, still first down.
Walt Anderson with a holding call, and that will erase a 4-yard completion to Anthony Becht.
We were talking about Galloway and loaning the car there to Bruce Gradkowski, and I thought it was interesting. In fact, Joey Galloway is a single guy. He's never been married. So he's able to do a lot of the things with the younger guys that most of the married guys just don't get a chance to. They go home with their families. Instead, he goes to sporting events with them, movies, and whatever it may be, and tries to help out the young players. But he also did the same thing for Chris Sims. And I laughed because Michael Irvin, when I played, whoever the quarterback was who he was going to befriend. And Joey Galloway is doing the same thing here in Tampa.
It's a smart move.
Very smart.
You and Michael developed that relationship early, and that relationship that you have with Michael Irvin continues to this day. I know still a good friend of yours.
Absolutely. And I think that, one of the things that everybody misses when they get away from the game are those relationships that you share. And when you win big games like Dallas was able to do last week, and if they're able to go on and win bigger games, and Tampa Bay, of course, when they won their world championships, relationships are forged that are never forgotten.
2nd down and 15 as we approach the 2-minute warning, and Galloway, the renter, was thrown behind by the rentee. 3rd down and 15.
Well, one of the ways you try to combat a guy that's got the kind of speed of Joey Galloway is get physical with him. Burnett, the linebacker, tries to reroute him. Then Anthony Henry, once he gets in his area, he's going to get physical with him as well. Anytime you got great speed receivers, you can't allow them free runs off the line of scrimmage. You just can't keep up with them.
3rd and 15. Play clock winding down, a toss to Pittman. And Pittman gets it to the 25. 9 yards shy of a first down. And we are at a timeout called by the Dallas Cowboys. So before the 2-minute warning, Dallas takes their first timeout of the half. About to get it back, up by 4. That may be a part of the 2-minute warning, or 2-minute drill rather, for the Cowboys, and Gradkowski's frustrated. He got a little bit of an earful from John Gruden after that inside flip to Pittman on 3rd and 15. High snap, corralled by Bidwell. And the Pro Bowler from a year ago boots it. And it takes a good Tampa Bay bounce. And out of bounds at the 26. And we had people vote on FoxSports.com as to whether we should keep the Galloping Gobbler Award. And your votes have been counted. We'll take a break for the 2-minute warning, and when we come back, the much anticipated Thanksgiving appearance on national TV of Mike Steve Pack, Officer Pack. Imagine coming in with the 6-4 Cowboys against the 3-7 Buccaneers. 4-point Dallas lead. First down, 1:58 left in the half. Cowboys with 2 timeouts. Romo steps up and fires, caught by Owens. First down, out just shy of the 42-yard line. A 16-yard completion, and a penalty flag is down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 95, defense. Helmet-to-helmet contact to the quarterback, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That is Hovan, who has a sack in this game, helmet-to-helmet.
We'll see what happens. Hovan comes in there late.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty good call. He comes in with the crown of the helmet, and you just cannot hit the quarterback helmet-to-helmet. They're going to call that every time. They got a referee, and all his job is to watch the quarterback and make sure those types of things don't happen. I've said it often. I think it's hard on these defensive linemen. When you can't hit them high, you can't hit them low. But that was an easy call there for the referee.
Walt Anderson with his eyes trained on Tony Romo. Plenty of time on the clock, and Barber gets it on the carry and picks up 10. The story with that whole Galloping Gobbler award, and I would say right now the competition is wide open as to who will get it. An award that tried to make it as ridiculous as possible, and the Fox props department made it too nice.
Well, it's still pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's close. Romo out of the shotgun. Steps up and fires for Creighton, wide open. First and goal with a ball just inside the 1.
I tell you, Dallas does a very good job of running this route, starting Creighton to the inside. They got 2 receivers, Creighton on the lower side of it, and then Terry Glenn up high. And Tony Romo just finds Creighton wide open. A number of times here in this first half, we've seen Dallas receivers running wide open in the secondary.
33-yard completion to set up first and goal. They mark the ball inside the 1. Romo keeps it, flips it, touchdown Barber. Troy, I want you to tell me that it's not as easy as Tony Romo makes it look.
Well, it never was for me. I don't know, but he sure has made it look easy. I think Bill Parcells has done a good job of calling plays that fit his skills. Here it's a run-pass option. Derek Brooks comes up, takes Romo. He lays it off to Marion Barber. But, you know, that's how quick this Dallas offense can strike, and they've been doing it. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons, and Tony Romo knows how to use them.
Still holding for kicks. And the Cowboys, who had a big finish to the first quarter, have a big one to the second quarter, and he may get the Galloping Gobbler Award. Again, your votes have spoken.
Officer Pack, what about the gobbler? Yeah! What happened?
America has spoken. America has spoken.
74% of the online votes want us at the end of this telecast to hand out another Galloping Gobbler Award.
I say, I mean, you may think it looks ridiculous, but Officer Steve Pack, not him.
Not him. How about him trying to fight back a smile surrounded by the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders? Calling him by his television name of Officer Pack. Meanwhile, Romo is on his way to getting that award. Whether it's coveted or not, I can't answer, but he has 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys have an 11-point lead, and Bill Parcells has definitely been rejuvenated as he has turned the keys over to Tony Romo after benching Drew Bledsoe. Pittman on the return. Out to the 20, and then he is smacked by Roy Williams. They don't mail it in on special teams with the Cowboys. They got everybody on the special teams.
Well, and Roy Williams, I mean, he never mails it in. This guy, he just likes contact. I mean, he comes in here late. He could have let Pittman go. He was going to go out of bounds, but anytime Roy Williams has an opportunity to take a shot on a guy, he's going to do it. And you just wonder how long a guy like that with that type of style of play can play in this league. I mean, is he going to be a 12, 13, 14-year guy? I don't know, because he puts his body through a pounding each and every week, and as much of a pounding as he takes, the recipients take even a bigger pounding.
On first down underneath, it's Pittman who's been busy in this second quarter. Nice move. Doesn't think to get out of bounds, had a chance to. And the Buccaneers will spend their final timeout. That was a chance to save their last timeout, but Pittman stayed in bounds. Our Visa halftime show a little different on Thanksgiving, and we're glad about that. Carrie Underwood will perform here at Texas Stadium during our halftime show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy with scores and highlights. Fox Sports ticker.
Y'all wear a lot of makeup on that show, don't you?
I mean, I get home at the end of a Sunday, and it's just, you need something to chip it off. And then there's Bradshaw.
Like a hammer and chisel, huh?
Oh. It's Lisa Ashley working.
You know, I can understand why Terry and Jimmy have to use so much, but you're a young guy. I mean, what's the deal?
It's a good question. Howie, I mean, with his natural good looks, he just hangs out by security personnel.
Howie just needs a pomade for the flat top.
That's right. 15 seconds left here in this first half. And Gradkowski will slide, and that will most likely do it. They're going to get one more play. Gradkowski wants one more crack at it. No, they're not.
That's the end of the first half.
So that does it for the first half here at Texas Stadium. Buck scored first, and then the Cowboys took over, up by 11 at the half. Visa halftime show is coming up, plus the halftime extravaganza starring Carrie Underwood, right after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Pep. Kasabian is becoming our house band. That's 2 weeks in a row we've used good pump you up music, and we give you our fantasy update. You can log on to foxsports.com on MSN and check out the numbers of the players involved in this game. Who do you have? If you have Romo on your fantasy team, you're happy. With 3 touchdown throws, 13 of 19. His quarterback rating is huge. It's up over 130, and he and the Cowboy offense will start with it.
And you just wonder how many guys have him on his fantasy team.
Yeah, I would imagine you could get him cheap early. Not anymore. Miles Austin on the return, can't make it to the 20. And it was Cox downfield to make the stop. 18-yard return, and let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, the wheels coming off a little bit for the Tampa Bay Bucs to end the half, and John Gruden gave his quarterback a death stare as they went into the locker room. But he also told me at the half that he believes that Gronkowski is doing the best that he can, but he can't continue to miss wide-open receivers. He says defensively, we got to get way more pressure on Romo than we're getting. Bill Parcells had just one real complaint to me at halftime. He says our run defense isn't what it should be. Cadillac Williams is a good runner, and we have to do a better job there. Back to you.
Thank you, Pam. He liked Cadillac Williams and has been talking to Jay Ratliff, who played at Auburn with him, to learn more about him. And Ratliff said he is the real deal. Penalty flag comes in the area of a hold as Julius Jones, who hasn't done much today, picked up one, and it is a hold against Dallas. So that'll back up the Cowboys, who have an 11-point lead.
Yeah, I think this possession here for Tampa Bay defensively is very important. You know, they've done a pretty good job as far as stopping the running game for Dallas, but they've not really had any answers for Tony Romo in this passing game, because Tony Romo has been able to find the open guy running through the secondary at will for most of the first half, and they've got to find an answer to that. But a very important possession for them to find a way to slow them down here early in the third quarter.
First down at 19. Romo is directing traffic and find his rookie tight end, Anthony Fasano, who came up with a big 22-yard reception at the tail end of the game last week against the Colts. That one's good for 10. And back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we spent so much time talking about Tony Romo and the job that he's done. I tell you, the guy there, Drew Bledsoe, has handled this very well. And I can tell you, it's been hard on him. It's been very difficult. He came into this team hoping to have a great year this year. I will tell you, though, a year ago in talking with him, I asked him about Tony Romo, just in case something were to happen to him. And he says, I hope I don't get hurt, because if I do, I don't think I'd ever get my job back. And that tells you how much Drew thought of him even a year ago.
Second down and 9. Pass to Glenn. First down, Dallas. See a pretty good trio now for wide receivers for the Cowboys. You've got Glenn, obviously Terrell Owens, and we've seen a lot of Patrick Creighton today. Creighton has 4 catches. Glenn now with 3 and 2 touchdowns.
I just think that it's an offense and a defense with very few holes. There's not many teams in this league that you can say that about. The offensive line initially was the concern. They've been solid. Good quarterback now, good running game, and some good defensive players to go with it all.
A blitz from Phillips ran right by Julius Jones, and Will Allen has to make the tackle after Jones picks up 13.
You know, that's what happens when you bring the blitz, and not always when you bring the blitz are you expecting the offense to throw the football. Sometimes these are run blitzes, but if you're able to get past that first line and get through where the blitz is coming from, generally you can create some big plays in the running game. And that's what just happened with Julius Jones. Will Allen there to make the tackle at the end. A good tackle in the open field by him.
It's worth talking about this Tampa Bay defense in a little more detail. Showing blitz, they don't come. And Romo buys some time, fires for Glenn. What a throw. Boy, they make it look easy.
Terry Glenn has exceptional speed, but it looked like Jerron Bolden had great coverage on him. You're going to see him here. And when the ball is thrown, Jerron's in pretty good position, and then all of a sudden separation at the end of that play. And that's a gear that Terry Glenn has, and Tony Romo knows that he has it. So even though initially it looked like Jerron had pretty good coverage, you lay it out there and let Terry Glenn go get it.
Terrell Owens cheering on the 45-yard throw and catch between Romo and Terry Glenn. Now Owens is at the top of the screen. On first down, they just get it away. Owens gets smashed, but he makes the catch, hangs on, picks up 7. Root and Allen were there defending for the Buccaneers.
Terrell Owens at times this year has been criticized for not going in and making the catch and taking the hit. but he took one there
from Will Allen. Second and 3.
You about got to have to hit him that hard just to get him on the ground.
Julius Jones. Well, he's the feature back for the Cowboys. You mentioned earlier it's typically Barber down there to pound it in. Jones has 3 rushing touchdowns, and here comes Barber with his 9. Caught his first touchdown of the season earlier in this game in the first half.
So Tampa Bay gives up the touchdown before the half ends, and then Dallas gets the opening kickoff here of the second half, and now knocking on the door.
Cowboys can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Barber. They're going to mark him just short of first down yardage, it looked like. Romo turns to the bench immediately and pleads with Bill Parcells to let him go for it.
Well, and I think they will. If they settled for the field goal, they'd make it a 14-point game, 2-possession game. If they go for the touchdown or the first down and come away with a touchdown, then they can make it a 3-possession game.
Something that the NFL talked about coming into last year was being very lenient in letting teams ask for a measurement. And what that does is give Romo a chance to come to the sideline and give Parcells a chance to think about it when clearly Barber was short of the first down.
Yeah, and the other thing is that old Vanderjagt isn't automatic anymore.
Not close. 5 misses this season. He had missed only 7 times the previous 3 years. And the Cowboys believe it's in his head more than with his mechanics. One leads to the other, but he has missed a lot of field goals pushing him wide right.
That's right. And yet I don't think that this decision has anything to do with what Bill Parcells feels about Vanderjagt and whether or not he can make a field goal right now. He said he's not 100% if the game's on the line. And Vanderjagt was called upon to kick the game-winning field goal. He's not 100% certain that he could make it.
Romo keeps it. Looking for Owens, throws and hits Barber for the touchdown. Second of the day for Marion Barber.
I just think with Tony Romo, because he can run, he puts pressure on a defense so much faster than what a quarterback does that cannot run. So immediately Jermaine Phillips has to honor that, knowing that if he doesn't make his move now, he won't get there.
If you weren't impressed yet with the Cowboys on this Thanksgiving, now that you've watched this against the Buccaneers, what do you think? Dallas are having fun, and Tony Romo has 4 touchdown throws in this game, 2 to Marion Barber. His first 2 of the season receiving. Gives him 11 touchdowns on the year overall. Glenn has the other 2. Vanderjagt is one of his shorter kicks. Pittman on the return. And as we continue here on this Thanksgiving from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, more members of our crew, the engineering group, and from our videotape room, there's Derek Manning. Hi, Derek. 28-10. Dallas out in front. Crowd takes over. Handoff to Cadillac Williams. Out to the 30-yard line. It is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and for more information you can log on to lungcanceralliance.org. #1 cancer killer in this country. lungcanceralliance.org. Second down and 7 as Williams steps out. Gradkowski with time, fires off the hands and picked off by Aiken Adele. Off the hands of Pittman and into the arms of Aiken Adell. Now they say incomplete. One official overruled by another. And it's incomplete to bring up third down. Let's take another look.
Well, you hate that. It just goes right through the hands of Michael Pittman and up in the air, which generally when that happens, you're going to have an interception. It's just, it looked to me like it was an interception. His arm is underneath the ball. And Bill Parcells is going to challenge the call.
Yeah, I'm with you. It looked like Aiken Adell. And you can see he's being told by his coaching staff to throw it.
Yeah, he didn't even throw it. It's like underhand bean toss or something.
Kind of laid it down.
Dallas is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Aiken Adell has one interception. He may have two after this. The challenge, and we'll take a break. Come back at the call. Right arm of Aiken Adell. It certainly looks to us from this angle like his arm has cradled the football, and at no point did the football touch the ground. He controlled it, hung on, and
after reviewing the play, the defender has control of the ball, does not lose control. It is an interception. It's Dallas's ball at the 35-yard line.
Adell gets his second of the year. Another takeaway for Bill Parcells' defense is John Gruden. He can get on a quarterback and now trying to pump up his rookie 6th-round pick from Toledo.
Yeah, because I think he recognizes that it was not Gretkowski's fault. I mean, he put a good ball in the hands of Michael Pittman, and then Michael Pittman was just unable to make the play. But now you give the ball back to Dallas with a short field. They've scored touchdowns on their last 2 possessions. Tampa Bay defensively, in the past, they've been able to ride the tails of the defense in Tampa. In fact, they rode them all the way to the Super Bowl there in 2002, but they have no longer been able to do that.
From the 35, it's Jones, and a couple of reasons why. First of all, they're playing right now without Sheldon Quarles, their middle linebacker, who's out with a knee. Ellis Wims is inactive today. Simeon Rice was put on IR. Brian Kelly, their very good cornerback, is on IR. They traded Anthony McFarland, but beyond that, this organization has chosen one defensive player in the top 50 picks in the last 7 years total in the draft. That was Barrett Ruud last year. In the previous 7 drafts, 9 defensive players in the top overall 50 picks. It's about talent, and they have not been drafting high on defense the last 7 years. Romo underneath hits Terrell Owens, who ducks down inside the 20. First down, Dallas, and a wry smile on the face of Tony Romo.
You know, at some point the game just becomes very slowed down for a quarterback to where you're able to see the field very well. There's no pressure in his face. He's able to take his looks at the progressions, and then Terrell Owens is able to get separation there from Derek Brooks. But I'm impressed with the composure that Tony Romo shows on a weekly basis.
15-yard completion to Terrell Owens. Hand off to Julius Jones. Boy, the right guard, Marco Rivera, got a great start on the snap. Might have left a little early, and it's a gain of 4 for Jones.
You know, Joe, I'm going to go back to what you said about Tampa Bay defensively. The other part of that, when you're talking about the draft, I mean, you think back to when they won the Super Bowl in 2002. They won because of their defense. Their offense really had no offensive players that defenses had to concern themselves with. John Gruden wanted to bring in some guys who could bring some offense to them. They did that with those draft picks. And then you got to remember what they gave up in draft picks to get Gruden here from Oakland.
2nd down and 6. Penalty flag is thrown on the play as Jones picks up 4.
Holding, number 95, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And yet, Troy, with all that being said, this was the top-rated defense last year in the NFL with regard to yards per game, and guys like Rondé Barber Derek Brooks, who's been an All-Pro and has been a 9-time Pro Bowler in consecutive seasons. They've got some talent, but they're specifically banged up right now on top.
Well, no question about that. I mean, they've got some key injuries and guys that could really help them. But when you give up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks for John Gruden to come here, and then when you start using your first-round picks on Cadillac Williams, Alex Smith, obviously, Michael Clayton, those types of guys, in order to upgrade your offense, while they were upgrading their offense, their defense got old.
First and goal now. And the throw. Owens into the end zone for the touchdown. That's his donation to the Salvation Army Red Kettle Drive. Terrell Owens dropping it in the bucket, and Tony Romo with 5 touchdown passes today, tying you back in 1999.
At this pace, he's going to shatter that record. I mean, just a simple slant route. There's nobody coming up and putting their hands on Owens, and he gets a touchdown.
Vanderjagt knocks through the extra point. It's 35-10. And Terrell Owens hangs on, gets into the end zone, and Tony Romo is all smiles. Why not? Fun. Capping that scoring drive set up by the second takeaway today by the Dallas defense, the Aiken-Adell interception. And now Torrey Cox will take it from inside the 5. Watkins was the first to get his hand on him. And Cox is out to the 19-yard line, where the Tampa Bay offense will go back to work. Terrell Owens making the donation for the Salvation Army of football. And all smiles, bumping fists with his QB. About his Pro Bowl now, and he hangs the moon. As Jimmy Johnson said before the game, Parcells said, I see the warts too. He does make mistakes. He hasn't made many today. Troy Aikman, as Cadillac Williams carries it for 4 yards.
No, he's played great again, and I think that, you know, there's been speculation that he's been linked anyway with Jessica Simpson, and whether he is or he isn't, you'd like to think that she's probably watching this game. And,
yes.
You know, his chances have got to improve when you're talking about a guy who's out here throwing 5 touchdown passes, and then his chances have even got to improve even more once he gets, of course, the gobbler.
The guy, do you think he would take it if he is going out on dates with Jessica Simpson? You think he'd take the gobbler with him just to impress her? As Cadillac takes it over the right side and picks up 4.
You know, I don't know how you couldn't, because Jessica Simpson is from this area. You know, she's a Dallas girl, and if anybody could appreciate the gobbler by a Texas player.
Oh yeah.
You know,
you were there. I mean, you're there.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, I know, and I also know that he's a guy that on Thanksgiving has put together the best day by a quarterback in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. That's a pretty good history, Troy.
He's not quite there yet. There were some other good performances.
I understand that. I'm just saying. Now you're thinking of Clint Longley, aren't you? Here's Gradkowski on the run, slides forward for a first down. You got your buddy Jason Garrett, you got Clint Longley, you got Danny White, Staubach, Aikman, but nobody's thrown 5 touchdown passes on Thanksgiving until today.
Well, and that is true. And I know Tony Romo well enough to know that the 5 touchdown passes aren't going to be what he's most proud of. He's going to be most proud of the fact that he's done another great job of directing this offense, and that's really how Bill Parcells judges him, and that's how he should be judged.
Gradkowski throws, hits Hilliard, and Ike is able to lunge forward. Now, when we talked about Romo and we said that he had a celebrity crush on Jessica Simpson, who knew what that would blossom into? True or not, his childhood hero, as we meet Bruce Gradkowski, Dan Marino, person from history he'd most like to meet. He's with you on this Lombardi. Celebrity crush Sophia Bush from TV's One Tree Hill. Favorite musical artist, The Wheels, cousin TJ Connolly's band, and his favorite food is, of course, and we all are in on this, Grandma Nunny's fried meatballs.
Well, he's going to have to score a lot of points here in the next quarter and a half if he's going to have a chance with Sophia Bush.
Yeah, I think you're right. As Gradkowski has it batted back toward him. No matter what happens in his matchup here today, here's the big difference. Yeah, Gradkowski's a 6th-round pick, But what happened with the undrafted Tony Romo was he got to sit and he got to play 3 years behind good veteran quarterbacks, learned so much from Vinny Testaverde. Gradkowski's learning on the fly. I mean, he is really trying to handle a lot more than Romo is right now.
Yeah, you cannot compare these two quarterbacks, even though Gradkowski has more starts in the NFL than what Romo has for the reasons you said. You can't underestimate what 4 years in the league does for you.
Gradkowski throws, and it's off the right hand of Galloway to bring up 4th down. And by the way, Parcells told us before their season opener at Jacksonville, he said, I'll tell you, we've handled this kid well, Romo, and Gruden's not happy. We have not forced him. We have let him learn. And I'll tell you right now, and this was before the Jacksonville game to start the season, if I had to put him in a game, I am confident that he could go out, run what we need him to run, and win games for us.
He got snaps during the week with the first team this year from the start of the year, which is something that Bill Parcells has never done.
Newman on the return. Fair catch. He got smacked last week here by the Indianapolis Colts. Now that we are into the flexible schedule portion of the NFL season, some of the great matchups the NFL has handpicked for Fox. How about Sunday? The Bears and the Patriots, December 3rd, Dallas and the Giants. A late start. America's most watched network for the NFL.
You know, that game there, regardless, you know, Dallas, it looks like they're going to go on and win this game here tonight. And regardless of what happens with the Giants-Tennessee game this Sunday, that Cowboy-Giants game on December 3rd is going to be huge because the Giants won their first meeting here at Texas Stadium a couple weeks ago.
That game is significant for another reason. That was the game when Romo took over at halftime. Barber, that didn't look good as he went down in a heap. Tripped up by Kozar, his left guard. We look at the playoff picture. We will see Chicago. We just saw Chicago up in the Meadowlands take on the Jets last Sunday. We were there. We'll be there for the New England Patriots game. I think you look at this bunch, Troy, and the teams there, Chicago at the top and Dallas at 6 and 4. I think those are the two class teams right now in the NFC, clearly.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, Chicago, anything short of a collapse, they're going to have home field advantage throughout. But I'm not so sure that this Dallas team isn't the best team in the NFC.
2nd down and 10, and Witten has a catch for a first down out to the 40. Well, I know the Bears are watching this game on Thanksgiving, and members of that great defense, Urlacher and company, have to be looking at this Cowboy offense going, okay, if we meet up with them, we are going to have our hands full.
Well, they can just strike in so many different ways. I mean, we've seen them get the ball to Terry Glenn. We've seen the throws there to Terrell Owens. We've seen what they are able to do running the football with Julius Jones and Marion Barber. And then the guy who goes unnoticed is Jason Witten, who's just another weapon for them, along with Patrick Creighton. They're a very difficult team to defense for any defensive team.
Barber bounces it outside, has Glenn blocking for him, and picks up 9.5. Tonight on Fox, feast your eyes on the world broadcast premiere of Spider-Man 2. The adventure begins tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here, only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Old Alfred Molina and Doc Ock against Spidey. You and the girls be checking that out later tonight when you get back to the castle?
No, we got an Italian feast. We don't even do the traditional turkey and stuffing.
2nd down and 1 for Dallas. Barber, first down. Offensive leaders for the Dallas Cowboys. Romo has thrown only 6 incompletions. The last 2 second halves he's played, by the way, a combined 20 of 21. And now he's doing it again here against the Tampa Bay defense.
And he's doing it. I know it was interesting in talking with Tony Romo, and he said prior to coming to Dallas, you know, he was a good player there at Eastern Illinois. He knew nothing about protections, nothing about hot routes or route adjustments. All of these things were new to him prior to coming to Dallas, and so that even adds to the success that he's been able to have.
Barber over the left side to the 45-yard line. Picked up 2. Guy who deserves some credit, by the way, is Sean Payton, the head coach with the New Orleans Saints. He played at Eastern Illinois. Had heard a lot of good things about Tony Romo, who had a very good college career, but went unnoticed and signed as a free agent. And Payton was here as the offensive coordinator for Bill Parcells before doing his terrific job down with the Saints. 2nd and 8 as we go to the 4th quarter. Back after this from your local Fox station.
You're watching a Fox NFL Thanksgiving Day.
There's something about you, something about Tony Romo, who is now 8 for 8 in this second half, and for his last 3 games in the second half has 1 incompletion.
Amazing. You asked me earlier if I thought he was the guy. What do you think?
I think football knows he's the guy because he's doing it week after week as Romo rolls out on 2nd down and hits Owens. Now flag is down in the secondary, and we'll get the call. But let's say this, in the second half last week, it's a hold against Tampa Bay, so that play will stand.
Holding, number 20, defense, penalty is declined, 1st down.
I know, Troy, how much respect you have for Peyton Manning, and Manning was here playing at Texas Stadium last week, and you could make the case that down the stretch when it mattered, Romo outplayed the great Peyton Manning last week in getting his Dallas Cowboys teammates a victory.
Well, I think you can make that argument. I would also, however, temper that a little bit, because I think Peyton Manning was going up against a much tougher defense in the Dallas Cowboys than what Tony Romo was against Indianapolis's defense, but he did play well, no question.
Barber carries it, and Marion picks up 4. Romo, by the way, is over 300 yards on the day.
You know, I really felt Dallas going into that game last week against Indianapolis, and I thought that they would play well. You don't know whether or not they're ultimately going to be able to win, but I felt if they were able to win that game, that would be the type of game that would really propel them and get them on a roll and get some momentum behind them to where they could start reeling off some wins, something they've not been able to do. And at least in this game, it appears to be what has happened for them, because that was a big win. They came into this game against a team that they expected to play well against, and they have played great against them today.
A blitz from the Bucs. Cowboys pick it up, and Marion Barber hops his way down near the 10. It'll be 3rd and short for Dallas.
You know, I think then looking ahead, you know, Dallas against the Giants a banged up team. I mean, there's going to be a lot riding on that game, and you just hate that the Giants won't be going into that game at full strength. I don't know if Strahan will be back yet, or Osi Umenyiora, or what exactly the situation will be with them, but they're going to need to be at full strength if Dallas continues to play like they've been playing.
Umenyiora is back at practice, but there is no word as to whether he'll play this Sunday against Tennessee. They need him. Kiwanuka, the rookies, played very well, but they need those good defensive ends. How about a flip to Marion Barber? And how about a carry where he's brought down right at the marker? Good open field tackle by Will Allen. He showed up today for the Tampa Bay defense, and it's a 1st down as Barber got just enough.
Yeah, Will Allen, you know, the one thing about it is, and it's hard, you know, for Tampa Bay, when you're having the type of season that they're having, it's sometimes hard, and fans have a hard time understanding this, for players to go out and still compete and still play hard, knowing that their season's going to end after 16 weeks and there's no chance of getting into the playoffs. But yet John Gruden's done a great job of keeping this team playing hard, even though they've not played particularly well.
Hoyt and Polite are the backs, and Lusaka Polite barrels forward down to the 7. That's about as big a backfield as you're going to find with Oliver Hoyt and Lusaka Polite, who has been re-added to this roster. Hoyt is taken over as the featured fullback.
Yeah, well, Hoyt was the linebacker, and then Bill Parcells just wanted a more physical guy there at that position. Lusaka Polite had been let go, moved Hoyt to fullback, and he's a big bruiser. I mean, he's a guy who's basically like an offensive guard lining up in there at fullback.
2nd and goal. Again, it's Polite. And he stays on his feet. Neeson on the stop, a gain of 3, 3rd and goal. There's the drive, 11 plays, 70 yards. It chewed up 7.5 minutes off the clock.
You know, we spent time talking about Tony Romo, and you know, when you look at Tampa Bay and their season this year, and then you start looking at, okay, well, what's going to happen next year? You know, Joey Galloway, you've got to believe, is going to be a part of that. But what's going to happen at quarterback? Chris Sims signed a 1-year deal coming into this season. Did not play well prior to his injury. Will he be back? Will Gradkowski be the guy? But the teams that are successful in this league are teams that get consistent play at quarterback, and that's what they need.
Again, it's Polite as the Cowboys pull it down tight and don't let Romo try and throw for his 6th touchdown. Romo will stay on the field and hold for the field goal try by Vanderjagt. And Troy, you said earlier this team, Dallas, doesn't have a lot of holes. Here's a guy that they are not confident in right now. He is still the NFL's most accurate kicker in history, but this year it's been a different situation.
It's the first time since Jerry Jones bought the team in '89 he has paid money to bring in a top kicker.
And this, everything is right. That one just gets in. He's smiling, but on the inside he is dying.
He's not kicking with confidence, Joe.
Not at all. Everything hung out to the right, but that one's good, and it's 38-10.
Stop. Back up. Turn right. Turn right. Straight ahead. Turn left at intersection. Destination ahead.
Navigate your holidays. Now, for a limited time, buy or lease a specially equipped Cadillac, and we'll pay for the navigation system. Season's best from Cadillac.
Around here, I'm the Christmas guy. You can take Toe Jam Day. I really want my house to be seen from space.
You're gonna cut his power, aren't you? This is the best Christmas ever.
That's gonna swell up.
Deck the halls.
Whoa! That could have ended badly.
Rated PG. Now playing only in theaters. This Fox NFL special is sponsored by DLP. HD TV powered by DLP. It's amazing. It's the Mirrors. By Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. By Aragon. December 15th only in theaters. And by Season's Best from Cadillac. Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit.
Vanderjagt just sneaked one in from 22 yards away. 24 unanswered points put up by Dallas. Tampa Bay trying to save a little face here at the end with 10 minutes. There you go. It's our first gobbler sign of the day. And this is Torrey Cox with a bobble on the return. And Cox is out to the 24-yard line now. Mike Vanderjagt is searching for confidence. Romo's still smiling, but Mike is shaking his head, heading off the field after that last 22-yard field goal. Tampa has the ball.
We want to wish you and your families and all those troops serving overseas a very happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays.
From the Barber family, 2 more members of our crew that week after week set up our broadcast and do their terrific job. Hello, Rich Gross. There is Officer Pack. His friend Zach. Here is Gradkowski, who fires, and it's Graham on the catch. Good for 5 yards. You know, just to finish about Vanderjagt, if that is a question mark, and it definitely is coming into this game on the part of Bill Parcells. He missed twice last week, 43 and 46 yards, one off the right upright, one just wide to the right. And on this last one, a 22-yarder made it by that much inside the right upright, and he's over there still shaking his head.
He made it, though.
Gradkowski hits Clayton, who has his first catch of the day. Michael Clayton is good for a first down, 10-yard completion from Gradkowski. 9 minutes to play in this game, while the Cowboys are on their way to a 7-4 start and the top spot in the NFC East until the Giants play this weekend with their crack at a 7th win. They play Tennessee.
And it's just amazing how things change from, you know, one week to the next in this league. It wasn't that long ago where the Giants looked invincible.
And Bill Parcells was apologizing after the game. Wrapped up as Hatcher gets the sack. Gradkowski is down, stays down. And you can say the same about, we'll see who it is. Gradkowski's now up and limping, but Dan Benning, his left guard, is down, grabbing his leg. So we will take a timeout as they take a look at Dan Benning here in Dallas. The Bucs got on the board first. Alstott into the end zone, but since then it's been all Dallas. Tony Romo, 5 touchdown passes, tying a team record. The best performance on a Thanksgiving Day game by a Dallas Cowboy. Danny White had thrown for 4 in the 80s twice before. Bidwell to punt, and Creighton waiting. Calls for a fair catch and hauls it in at the 24. Some of our camera operators on this Thanksgiving. And as we continue, 38-10 with 7.5 to go here in Dallas. And a Cowboy fan, part of the support group. Oh, and here they are: Steve Horn, Dave Schwabe, Ed Sfida. Cubbies down there. We got everybody.
Put that on a Christmas card.
By the way, our producer Richie Zients, our director Artie Kempner, in charge of this entire crew that we present to you on this Thanksgiving. And we could call this a 3-arms race. Peyton Manning you count on year after year. But then Drew Brees coming off a game in which he threw for 510 yards, and Phillip Rivers in charge of maybe the hottest team in the AFC.
It's a pretty good collection of quarterbacks right there. Peyton Manning, I think at times we take his performances take them for granted on how well he has played. But Drew Brees, another good year this year, and Phillip Rivers, I think he's impressed everybody.
By the way, does anybody work harder than Don Cornelli? Our director Artie Kempner's best friend. That was Don down on his knees looking through the viewfinder with that camera that he lugs all around every stadium week after week. Marion Barber took that one, and it was enough for a Dallas first down. And this is the point where the Cowboys will just keep running the ball, you would imagine, and not let Tony Romo get into harm's way.
Yeah, I would think that's what they're going to do. Speaking of quarterbacks, you know, we talked about Peyton and Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. How about Joey Harrington in the day that he had today, leading Miami with the win back home in Detroit, where he was there for so many years. Congratulations to him. I know that was a meaningful game.
That should be a procedure call against the Dallas Cowboys. There was movement just before the snap. That should be a 5-yard penalty. Yeah, and that's a guy, Troy, I can say you have always been in his corner and have not just looked at his struggles, but those around him.
Illegal motion, number 14, offense. Penalty is declined. It's 2nd down.
Here are the numbers for Joey Harrington. Little different look for the usually clean-cut, buttoned-up Joey Harrington, and he had a 3-touchdown day back in Detroit. That had to feel good for him.
I would think so. You know, a place where he's had so many struggles, and to go in there with a good football team and show that franchise, you know, what he's all about. Of course, he's got great coaching there in Miami with Jason Garrett serving as the quarterback coach, a guy who backed me up for a number of years here in Dallas.
Pete Chalveras, Chevy, one of our camera operators, as Marion Barber Carries it for 2. On Sunday, December 3rd, college football's greatest teams find out who they will play in college football's greatest games. It's a live primetime special that you can only see on Fox. The All-State BCS Selection Show, Sunday, December 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
And Monty Kiffin's son is the offensive coordinator there at USC. You can imagine that they get together in the off seasons and talk about offensive and defensive strategies. And if he's got anything offensively that can beat Monty Kiffin's defenses, I'm sure they'll run a pretty good operation.
It's Lane Kiffin, the offensive coordinator for the Trojans, as Barber is brought down from behind by Phillips after a carry of 32 yards, and Barber adds to his numbers. He has 2 touchdown catches already in this game, his first 2 of the year.
I mean, he's not an overly fast guy, but he does everything very well. He's got pretty good quickness. He's got enough speed to be able to get on the edge. But I think what Bill Parcells likes most about him is the fact that he's a good receiver. He's a good blocker. He runs the ball well. Not great in any one area, but good in all areas. In fact, he comes from Minnesota, and Bill Parcells was saying the backs at Minnesota are always very well coached and a great asset for any team. Of course, Maroney there with New England, the same type of player.
Polite takes the big fullback, hits the hole hard, and we can't overlook the job done today by the offensive line of the Cowboys as they have dominated the front for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That one was good for 4 yards from Polite, as Bill Parcells is getting everybody into the act now carrying the football.
I just think that with every championship team, and I'm not saying that Dallas is a championship team yet, but if you're going to become one, there becomes periods in the season to where it just kind of comes together for you. And I thought maybe that might happen to Dallas when they beat Carolina, but then they lost to Washington. But after the win last week against Indianapolis and watching them here today, there's no doubt that this team is a confident team. Now it's a matter of can they stay healthy.
2nd down and 6, and Polite is showing what he can do running the ball. Winborn on the stop, a gain of 3. Richie Basile, he is in charge of all those buttons. Can you imagine every Sunday you show up after a big Saturday night out and you got to punch all those buttons with Artie Kempner breathing down your neck?
I can't even set my alarm clock at night. I'd have no chance.
Look at that.
He's the best.
And he was pushing the button there to get the camera off him, or at least the shot, taking himself off national TV on Thanksgiving. 3rd down and 3. Pushing the pile forward for, according to this official on this side of the field, enough for a 1st down was Polite. The offensive line today, Colombo left. He came back in that first half. And he is joined by Flozell Adams, Kyle Kozar, Andre Girard, and Marco Rivera. They've done a nice job yet again.
Well, they have. And, you know, with the 1 sack today, Tony Romo's been sacked 8 times in 5.5 games. And in the 4.5 games that Drew Bledsoe was playing, he was sacked 16 times. And, you know, that's what a quarterback that can move around will do for you. But along with that, then this offensive line starts getting more and more confidence that they're doing a good job and their play has increased.
Should take us to the 2-minute warning. Polite. Dave Hill, the other Dave Hill, and Francisco Contreras in our production truck doing a Carol Burnett tug of the left ear is Francisco Contreras. And there is Dave Hill. No, that's not Eric Clapton. 2 minutes left here at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. The Cowboys up 38-10.
This Fox NFL special is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Message that we all send to all armed forces. From our family to yours here on Fox, there is Greg Scopatone and his daughters on the laptop in front of him. Our producer Richie Zients, and to his right, Artie Kempner, our director.
Happy Thanksgiving to all our families of our crew in Eastern Maryland, down in Virginia with Z's people. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanks so much. I'm out of stuff.
Hey, Z.
My people. Your people.
I know. Z.
He's out 3. He's out 3.
Just let the country take that in as much as it bothers Richie.
His people.
His people.
Artie's got lots of people. They don't have many people.
No.
They got funny hats.
But fitting on a day like this. John Gruden and his team playing their 3rd game in 11 days. And on this short week, they have come in here to Dallas and experienced how good the Cowboys are playing right now. Monday night on Fox at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Don't miss the explosive fall finale of Prison Break. It's all new Monday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. That's on Monday, the fall finale. Meanwhile, the Cowboys will move to 7-4. The Giants will have their chance at trying to do that at Tennessee on Sunday. And this will be the final snap of the day. Actually, it will be a change of possession on 4th down. These teams have poured onto the field, not realizing that was 4th down, including Gruden and Parcells. The clock stops with a change of possession, so 31 seconds left, and that means, do we have anybody else on the crew we want to get on TV?
That's about the only thing that the Cowboys didn't do right. Their worst execution of the day. They started the kneel down there on 2nd down. I knew they weren't going to be able to run the clock out, but I figured, well, they just give it over to Tampa. But both sides were just ready for this one to get over with.
You know what it's like on the Cowboys side. Not only are they playing well, they get the win over Indy. They get the win a few days later against Tampa Bay. And now they've got 10 days before they have to play again.
And that's the biggest thing. And it's a huge advantage for these Dallas Cowboys to get 10 days off before their next match against the New York Giants.
So the Dallas Cowboys officially 7-4. John Gruden and Bill Parcells come together at midfield. And as the clock winds down on this Thanksgiving Day game here in Dallas, a tradition that started back in 1966. We look ahead. The Galloping Gobbler Award will be presented on the other side of the break. Cowboys win it behind Tony Romo. Another big day at the controls for Bill Parcells. We'll hand out the hardware when we come back to Texas Stadium. Stadium in Irving, Texas. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
All right, and I'm here with Tony Romo, the man of the day. When we talked to you earlier, you said, you know, a game like this, we asked you how special it was going to be. You said you were too busy to think about it. Now that it's over, now what do you think?
Well, I think we got, 10 days before our next game against the Giants. So, you know, we'll be able to reflect a little bit. But, you know, this league, you got to keep going forward. And, you know, it was a tough week coming off the Colt game. It was such an emotional high that it was nice to be able to come out and the team to play as well as we did today.
Where does that poise come from?
I don't know. I just try and get out there and throw the ball. It's fun, though. I enjoy it.
Okay, I think Joe Buck's got something for you now.
Yeah, well, we need to present to Tony Romo, the first-year starter for the Dallas Cowboys, our little award that we're so fond of handing out here on this day. That's Officer Pack, and this, Tony Romo, is the Galloping Gobbler Award. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. This is one pretty thing right here.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. Hey, let's talk about your day, first of all. And Pam talked about it with you. Spreading the ball around. Creighton is now a big part of your attack. I mean, you have a lot of places to go with a football, and your offensive line did a great job for you today.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, that was one of the best games they've played all year. And, you know, you can't help but say how much better they've gotten each game. And, you know, if we keep playing like this, we're going to be a tough team to beat.
Since Troy and I have proclaimed you, I think, the leader of the free world by virtue of the job that you're doing as quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, I have to ask you the obvious burning question, and that is there any truth to the rumor that Bill Parcells is going out with Jessica Simpson?
Last I heard, they were seen on a date last weekend, so.
How about you?
There might be.
Huh? Let's hear you tackle that question. What about you?
You guys get out of here. You guys are funny.
Shut Jocks. He won't answer it again.
I don't know where this stuff comes from.
Yeah, okay, whatever. We will see you soon against the Giants. Meanwhile, the guys are standing by. There you go, Tony. Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
He is the newest and latest recipient of the Galloping Gobbler Award. Our AT&T postgame show will continue from Texas Stadium as Kurt, Terry, Howie, Jimmy Johnson will come up and give you their thoughts on this day in football and look ahead.